Welcome to my tutorial on gearing and starting out as an 80. It's a lot different than leveling because it's a totally different game once you hit 80. I mean, there's raids, there's all kinds of stuff you got to do, and it's a lot different, and sometimes it's hard to get used to if you don't have people to help you. And I haven't seen a tutorial about this, and I really wish I had one when I first became an 80, so I decided I'd make one. Okay, I'm here in the Argent Tournament Grounds in Ice Crown, as you can see, and it is right here. See, there's Ice Crown, if you can see that. And this is where you want to buy your armor sets with the Emblem of Triumph badges, and you get those by doing your heroic randoms. You get extra ones. The first one you get Frost, but that's for later once you start getting your Triumph gear. But okay, so once you've gotten some badges, you're gonna want to come here and talk to these guys. Or if you're Horde on this side, these are the vendors who are gonna give you your Triumph gear, and it's like a set. This is a DPS set, and this is the tank set for my Death Knight class. And for each individual class, they have their own set, depending on what roles they can play. But this is where you're gonna wanna start out getting this armor, and you're probably not going to have nice armor when you start out at 80, because you've probably only been doing lower level instances and not heroics. So you'll probably have some drop armor, which is okay to start heroics, but depending on what your role is, you might not want to jump right into heroics whenever you hit 80. And that brings me to my next topic. Whenever you do randoms, a lot of times people have really low patience with lower geared people. So if you're a tank or a healer, that can often get stressful, because I mean, you can't help it. You just hit 80. You want to jump into heroics and start getting geared, but getting geared isn't exactly easy. But what you would want to do, the key to getting geared to 80, is finding a good guild. And I'm not talking about a guild where you're just gonna sit and talk in guild chat, or a guild that is all about raiding. You're gonna want to find a guild that's nice and full of people who you can really be friends with and who you can talk to, because they're the ones that are gonna help you get geared. They're the ones that are gonna help you learn to play your class. And what you're gonna want to do, if you're a tank, you're gonna want to go into randoms with at least 2 other people. That way, if you're not exactly good at tanking, then they won't boot you, because they're your friends and they understand that you're new. But other people, they might try to boot you because you're not great, so to speak. But like if you're DPS like me, like I always had a hard time trying to go in by myself, but once I got into a guild, I always went with a tank, and so it's like instant when you're a tank. It's always hard to find stuff when you're a DPS. And same goes for a healer. You're just going to want to pair up with guildmates who are going to help you and who are going to be there for you, and who aren't going to be impatient with you like some are. Okay, now I'm hearthing, or I just hearthed to Dalaran, waiting for it to load. There we go. And this is also where you can get more Triumph gear and other emblems. Also, once you get your main pieces of your set, you're gonna find that you're gonna need boots and bracers and rings and other stuff. So you're gonna want to come here, and apparently they haven't loaded yet, but they're right here. And this is the emblem of Valor Quartermaster, which the Triumph guy is usually right here. There they go. This is the Triumph guy, or girl, and they have various Triumph stuff like rings. And if you have something, like say you see something in here that you want, like say those bracers, you're like, oh, okay, emblems of Valor. Well, how do I get Valor? Well, when you run randoms and stuff and you get Triumph, you can come here and convert them to Conquest. And so once you convert those to Conquest, you come over here to the Conquest Quartermaster and you get Valor from that by converting those. And so on and so forth. That goes down, and then you Valor to Heroism. And the emblem of Frost Quartermaster, Frost are the hardest to get because you get them only from ICC raids, from your daily random, and from your weekly raid. And like those are really good stuff, but I wouldn't recommend ever if you have stuff to downgrade it to Triumph, because that's pretty dumb because it's hard to get Frost. But yeah, once you get your stuff, once you get your emblems, you're gonna want to start getting yourself geared, and just you want to find people, friends that you can talk to and who you can pal around with, who will be willing to run you. And then soon, if you want to, you don't have to. I mean, it's your game. It's you pay for the game. You play the way you want to play. But if you want to start raiding, then if your guild that you're in raids, then you can start running like Nax and stuff like that, easier raids, and I'm sure they'd be happy to help you get geared. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this was helpful. If not, I'm sorry. I thought it would have been helpful to me whenever I started 80, so